Hello, I'm here at Oranmore today with Ron Butlin, who is the author of next week's play, Sweet Dreams. Ron is a man who wears many literary hats. He's a novelist, he's an opera librettist, he's a poet, and this, I'm happy to say, is his first play for the stage. Ron,
very nice to meet you.
Tell us about Sweet Dreams.
Sweet Dreams is, yeah, as you say, it's my first kind of original stage play. It's a comedy, but it's quite a comedy with quite a serious centre, and I think I'd probably describe it as a sort of extended rant about lots of things. But believe me, I've got plenty more to rant about afterwards for more plays if there's ever a chance of that. And it's set. It involves two characters. It's a husband and wife, and the man who is going out to work is exhausted with dealing with basically life in the 21st century. He's absolutely exhausted. Emails, restructuring at work, endless pressure, just building up. He didn't know if he's coming or going, as he says. And his wife, as she tells us very quickly, is pretty fed up with the fact that he usually just comes home, goes straight to bed and goes to sleep. And most of the play is about that dynamic between them and how she's basically just doing her best to get him to stay awake and so they can have some kind of relationship.
And as you say, it's a rant.
It's a rant. It's a humorous rant, it must be said. Otherwise it'd be a real bore. But it's a rant. It's about a whole lot of... I do feel that ever since, particularly I think emails was the kind of watershed that changed things. The rest of us have been, as human beings that is, have been working flat out to try and keep up with our electronic masters and the speed that they set. And I, for one, have learned lots of tricks to sort of try and bypass them.
Will you pass them on to me?
Yes, yeah. One of them was given to me by someone who will have to remain anonymous. They were in a position of considerable authority in the arts world. And they said that once their inbox had got up to 250, they just deleted the lot of them. And it regarded her way of dealing it was that if something was really important, people would just get back in touch with it.
Yes.
And I can see that maybe these sort of manoeuvres, kind of slightly Machiavellian tools for survival, are the only way to cope. Unfortunately, the main character in this hasn't quite cottoned onto it, and he's not surviving. But however, his wife will come in and hopefully save the day.
I'm going to go back to my desk and delete 489 unanswered emails right after this chat.
It works. It works. I'm told that it works. I mean, I as you said, I'm a novelist, poet, short story writer. I've done a lot, about a dozen books, and I still work longhand.
Yeah.
I'm one of the last, but very quickly I get on to putting them on. Onto the computer, and then I work on the computer.
Yes.
But then there's always stages where I'll print it out back onto the typescript and work on that. I feel more engaged, actually physically engaged. Crafting the different letters and the sentences and all the rest of it. And it just seems to be more alive for me anyway.
Just the pen in your hand.
With the pen in my hand. But my wife, Reggie Clare, she's also a writer. She can only work on screen.
All right.
She's a year or two younger than me, so maybe that explains it.
I'm interested that, obviously I've read the play and I've been at rehearsals, and although it's light-hearted and funny, it does have quite a political content.
Yes.
You're engaging very much with what Jimmy Reed described in his rectorial address as the great problem of the modern world of alienation.
Yes, that is definitely there. I mean, I think, though I don't have a kind of, as my mum would call it, a real job, having been a full-time writer for about the last 30 odd years, I can see and occasionally really come in touch with it, just how desperate a lot of people are in their jobs. And there's a particular bit in the play where the guy who works in a kind of one of these huge something like you know, what used to be really nice department stores, but are now sort of windowless places that sell everything, you know, from kitchen sinks to beds to whatever. And I can just see that he comes home a particular day and finds that his own expertise, which is in the tap department, which he knows taps and he breathes and loves taps, he's suddenly been told that everyone is going to be available to work in any sort of department. It doesn't matter, expertise no longer counts. Yeah. And so that basically this is the ultimate statement of your individuality means nothing to the people in charge. Your experience means nothing, your expertise means nothing. You are simply a cog that is just slotted around wherever the need arises. And this is quite a big turning point for that character.
Yes. I think, like all great comedy, and I think it is a good comedy, it has a serious
point. It has a very, very serious core. I mean, I hope people will enjoy it. I mean, theatre has to be, I believe, entertaining. I mean, if you give you know, an audience wall-to-wall universal truth for so many hours, man, is it a bore. So you really have to, it has to be entertaining as well, and hopefully the entertainment will, you know, touch them and also be perhaps thought-provoking in some way or another.
I'm sure it will. Ron, tell me about some of the other interesting things you're up to. You're off to Montpellier next week.
Yep, next week I go to take part in the Coeur de Livre, it's called, which is a book festival. I feel very honoured to go. There's 30 writers have been picked from the UK to go, and I will be doing my best to, if I get enough wine, to conduct myself in French and sort of Q&A and stuff. But I'll be going there both as a poet. I'm the Edinburgh Macker, the Edinburgh Poet Laureate, so I'll be going as a poet, and I have a new book coming out in August, so I hope I'll be reading something from that. But I'll also be going as a novelist.
And do you have a novel on the go at the moment?
At the moment I'm finishing a novel. I'm just finishing a novel just now that's partly set in the present day and partly set in 50s Edinburgh. So that's quite an interesting conjunction for me.
When's that going to hit the shops?
Well, once I finish it, and once I find a publisher, then hopefully it will hit the shops next year. We just have to see. In the meantime, I had to do the proofs for the poetry book, and then get back to the novel, which I put aside. And in the middle of that, I also had a fantastic commission, I must say. I was really pleased to do. There's a company or a society called ALCS, which is the Authors Collective and Licensing Service, I think it's called. And they're like for the Musicians Union, kind of the kind of performing rights society for the Musicians Union. And they commissioned me to write a poem to sell. They're based down in London. They do everything. They're globally, because you know I get kind of emails from them, saying, oh, you've had a story broadcast over China, or you've had a play rebroadcast in Belgium or something like that. So, you know, and I get maybe 50p or something. It mounts up over the... Anyway, they've commissioned me to do this, a poem celebrating their 35 years in existence. And it's going to be, their celebrations are going to be in the House of Lords. So I'm going to be going down to the House of Lords and reading this. Great. So it'll be really exciting. It's very
You're also a fellow at Edinburgh University?
Yes, I'm a Royal Literary Fund Fellow at Edinburgh University, which is something I've enjoyed doing the last 2 years. Seeing students sometimes, only 2 days a week, but also having space and time that I can dedicate totally to my own work. I'm very sorry to see that go. It's lovely to get this regular payment as a freelance. These are valuable.
And has your experience writing a play for R and More, does it tempt you to write more plays?
Very much. I really, really have enjoyed it, and I just wish that I'd kind of stumbled on doing this earlier.
Well,
because I've really, really enjoyed it, and I hope there's an opportunity.
Well, I'll be sending you an email.
Oh, good. I look forward to it.
I hope you're going to come next week to see Sweet Dreams. It's a lovely piece of work. It's funny, it's entertaining, and it's got a serious heart, and it's got a wonderful cast, and Greg Powery and Anita Vitesi, and it's being directed by an old friend of ours here at R and More, Ken Alexander, and I think you'll enjoy it very, very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.